When I was a kid, I was born with severe asthma. I can actually remember the time when I was too sick to move. So literally, just laying down. I was about maybe 4 or 5 years old. And especially in the winter time, it got really bad. So I was laying down, and if I would move my position a little bit, I almost coughed my lungs out. It was that bad. So at the time, we lived in Berlin, in Germany, West Germany. So we got out. And there was something called a smog alarm. And at that time, the gases from traffic at winter times would, under certain weather conditions, just stay over the city. So there were different alarm levels from 1 to 3, if I recall. And 3 was like, okay, nobody's allowed to drive. So it was bad. This was in the 1980s. I'm an 80s kid, all right. And my parents are originally from Finland. So in 1988, they decided, largely because of me, I'm the oldest son, to move back, for which I am very, very grateful. So what happened then? In the early 90s, late 80s, Finland was in deep recession, in deep shit financially. So my parents moved into this country where I'm still living at, and they had nothing, no idea how to provide. They had a summer cottage where we then lived for the next probably like 8 years before they had magically gathered the money from somewhere to buy an actual house. Okay, but this cottage is very important. It's very important because it shaped me in many ways. It's really small. It was like 30 square meters, which is, I think in square feet, it's 400 square feet. So very small. And it was just a kitchen and the living room that was the same space. And then the beds were like bunk beds. So I had a very, let's say, simple childhood, nothing too fancy there. But this house, this cottage, was actually, at the time when we lived there, it was already 100 years old. And it was a log house. And it was built from like so thick logs over 100 years ago. Now it would be like roughly 130 years old. It's still standing. So it was tarred. And that was it. It was a black cottage. And inside there was only a wooden floor, which had a linen seed coating. Okay, so very natural. So okay, I had asthma as a child. We moved to Finland to this small cottage. And the combination of that environment versus the big city toxic environment was very much key for me to get better. That, and then certain natural healing ways, like my mother started to practice Chinese medicine, and that was the second factor that cured me. So since I'm a child, I know I don't only believe in natural medicine and natural ways of living. I mean, it saved me and it worked for me. I didn't have asthma since probably 15 or 16. So the next part of the story is very important. When I was 18, my mom's sister, who visited us in Finland from Germany, this is a short flight, it's like 3-4 hours. So they came every summer, and every summer my mom's sisters or my aunt tried to sell something to my mom because she always bought. And this is the kind of aunt that always gets excited for products and is also into natural medicine and all this stuff. But this summer, when I was 18, 1998, she actually had a good product with her. I was used to it that it's usually crap. But okay, I was 18 and I saw a machine that worked with water and something called a centrifuge engine. It sounds very high tech, but what it does is it purified the air, filtering it through water using very high RPM. So that's what it is, basically. And immediately I knew that is a great idea. And something deep inside me was awakened at that second when I saw this product, and I realized this was my path to where I wanted to go. Because I had large ambitions since I was a kid. I always wanted to be self-reliant and not the bossy kind of boss, but in charge. So I saw opportunity to build a business, and I saw opportunity to help people because I knew and I know from as being a child who had severe asthma, and it really, really sucks to not be able to breathe. And that's an understatement. It's really horrible when your air is cut off. And air to the human body is the single most important thing, the single most important resource. It's more than a resource. It's a basic human right, just like fresh water and good healthy food is, but air even more so. So today I find myself still in the same area. That first business I started, it made millions and millions. I burned out because I did some things wrong. I learned a lot, but that's not the story here. The story is that later in life, like a couple of years ago, I actually put together all my ideas I had about measuring the indoor air, because I knew and I know first have to measure it. And there is nothing in existence on the market today. It's the end of 2018 now. There's nothing that is sophisticated enough to detect all of the small particles that are actually the problem. So the problem is multifaceted, if I use a fancy term like that, and the most killing substance inside our indoors are these small nanoparticles. And we have nothing in modern times that helps us to detect them or eradicate them. So that's why I am currently leading a startup here from Finland that has that technology to bring to the market. And I'm also leading a very, very cutting edge marketing agency that is solely for companies that produce these kind of high-tech solutions to the market. So that's my story. It's more than a passion. I feel I was literally born into this, what I'm doing right now. It took me a long time to realize it on this level that I'm talking now. But I couldn't be more happy than be doing what I'm doing every single day from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for listening to my story. And I hope that you are now inspired enough to listen to future episodes like this and also share the message about fixing our indoor air supply, because it's in a bad shape right now.